Hello students, welcome to your online social science class Being Logical with Tanushree ma'am. Today I have come up with a topic from the geography portion of your syllabus. Today we are going to discuss the second chapter of geography: land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. Okay, our topic is belong from second chapter of geography. And our today's topic is land, land use and land conservation. Okay, so let's get started. The component or the theme of our today's chapter, land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife, are all of them are considered as resources. Okay, so before starting it, let's give us a look about what is resources. Resources is actually a supply of something, or we can say a piece of equipment that is available for somebody to use. That means it can be an economic or productive factor required to accomplish an activity, or we can say that to undertake an enterprise and achieve desired outcome. By doing it, it's actually turn it as resources. Three most basic resources we can say that, and we are usually keep saying these things, are land, labor and capital. Okay, but here the resources that we are going to discuss are divided among two: abiotic resources and biotic resources. Okay, so land, soil and water are come under abiotic resources, and natural vegetation and wildlife resources are considered as biotic resources. Clear? Now we are going to discuss about the land resources. As we all know that land is among the most important natural resources that we have. Land covers almost 30% of the total Earth surface area. We know that, right? 30%, 30% is among the land, and 70% is referred to the water portion. And 90% of total world populations are used to live in this 30% area. Okay, but the remaining 70% land is either sparsely populated or inhabited. That means whatever 30% of the total Earth surface that we have, out of those 30%, peoples are actually or mostly live in 30% of the total land area. The remaining 70% of the land area are actually deserted. Most people are unable to use those lands because of the climatic condition, because of the, or we can say environment, and some other reason that we are going to discuss in our later part of this video. Okay, land is evenly inhabited due to various factors of land, climate and water fertility. That means the area which are very favorable climatic, which have very favorable climatic weather. That means the areas are not too hot or not too cold. Okay, definitely peoples are used to live in those areas. So the lands which are actually provide you are actually covered with favorable climatic conditions are definitely used by many people. And water and fertility. If the fertility of that land is very high, if they are having, so that obviously the agricultural portion of those areas will be higher, and definitely it takes many people to go and live there. Okay, so these are the main reasons which are very much which are very much responsible for a land to be evenly inhabited. Clear? The densely populated areas of the world, what are the important or thing that they are having? They are having plain lands, river valleys. If we see, then we can find out that most of the civilizations are actually took place near the river valleys of different places. Whether we can say it as an Harappan civilization, or say all other world civilization, most of civilization are took place near the river valleys because they are having source of water. As all we know, the source of water is the most important thing for any living, or for any living person. So that's why the river valleys and plain lands are densely populated, because people always want to or opt to have a normal and hassle-free life, and plain lands are give them those opportunity to live hassle-free. Okay. Another thing, mineral richness, okay, water resources and fertility of soil, and most important, good topographical conditions are important. Okay, the land to be used evenly. Because of this reason, the people are used to live in the plainlands, or we can say that the populated areas, the portion of the populated areas are because of this reason. Clear? Okay. So this is the concept of the land, that what is, when we are saying land as resources, we are actually referring this. Clear? Now we are going to discuss about land use. When we can use the term land use, or when we say land use, what are the things that we are meant? Land use refers to the use of land for different purposes, such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up of industries. That means when we are having any kind of agriculture on any land, that time we refer that activity as land use. Clear? Same thing applicable for the forestry also. If any portion of the land are used for forestry, then also we can refer that activity as land use. Same thing for mining, building houses, roads, and setting up of the industries. Okay, so what are the physical factors, okay, which include the land use? Definitely topography. If the area was topographically well accessible, then definitely people will use that area very much, whether it's for agriculture or whether it's for building houses, roads, etc. Clear? Soil, if the area is having a fertile soil, then definitely the activity of land use of the agriculture will definitely take place over there. And favorable climatic condition and availability of water, if this kind of physical factors are present in any area, definitely the usage of land of that particular area is definitely will increase. And another human factor, the population and the technology. If any area, if any portion of the land is densely populated, then definitely the uses of land are definitely increased. Another thing, if those areas are very much technically well versed, they are having lots of transportation, good factories, having lots of technology involved in it, definitely the uses of those areas are increased. Am I clear? So these are the activity which is referred as land use, and these are the factors which influenced the land use, the physical factor and human factor. Okay, now Another important thing, on the basis of ownership, okay, land can be classified as private and community land. Okay, the division of the land use are actually classified into two portions: private land and community land. Why, when we say any portion as a private land, uh, on the basis of ownership, okay, if the area is actually belonged or owned by any individual or a particular family members, okay, a group of family members, then definitely those areas is referred as private land. Clear? And the same as if any land does belong to a particular community, there's a group of people, the number of the people are comparatively high, then definitely those land, that particular land is referred as community land. Clear? And what are the changes that we have found currently in the land uses, right? The vast changes in the land use pattern shows the cultural changes in our society. For an example, with the time passes, we are actually become more, world citizen. So there is also a change in our cultural pattern also. At the same time, the change also can be seen in the land uses purpose. Nowadays, the we use land use activities are comparatively comparatively increasing in the portion of the factory building, road building, rather than the agricultural portion. Okay, same thing, land degradation, landslide, soil erosion, desertification are the major threats to environment. So the activity, the land use activity also lead us to land degradation, landslides, soil erosion because of erosive use of factories, industries, buildings. That's actually given a threat to our environment because it's led to us desertification. The fertile land is exploited more because of we are using excessive amount of fertilizer and different kind of components to increase the fertility of the land, which actually take us in a long term actually a long term problem, because in the later portion or in the long term the land will become barren. And the over exploitation of the mineral sources also make the soil vulnerable to be degraded. That means these, okay, if you can just give a look, that you will find that all this kind of activity is actually the land use activity, and most of the land use activity that we are having now because of our cultural changes are actually vulnerable to our environment, whether it's a mineral, whether it's a over exploitation of the mineral resources, or over exploitation of the fertile land, or land degradation or landslides. All of them are actually take us to the degraded environment. Now, what are the things that we can do to conserve our land resources? What are the things that if we've done or if we include in our society, then we can help our environment as well as our condition or the quality of our land. First, definitely the destruction of the forest cover and arable land has created a fear of losing these natural resources. The amount of destruction of the forest that we are having and arable land means empty lands are actually creator of losing these natural resources, because definitely if we cut down trees, definitely it increase alarming condition in the environment. At the same time, due to the if any land left to be arable, then definitely it decrease its fertility. Next, the common methods used of conserve land resources are afforestation, land reclamation, regulatory use of chemical pesticides and fertilizer, and checks on overgrazing. these are the thing, or these are the steps that we should take to stop the exploitation of our land. If we regulated use of chemical pesticides, if we use the pesticides in a right amount or fertilizer in a proper way, then definitely we can help our land to be degraded. Stop our land, sorry, then we can help our land to be not to be degraded. Okay. And the last point, by making rules, we have to make a strong law to stop this kind of activity which leads our soil erosion and a very uh, it's a viable to our environment. Okay, it's not good for an environment. Those are the things are very much dangerous to our environment. We should make a law to prohibit them, and at the same time we have to educate our farmers, those who are using pesticides and chemical fertilizers, to stop them. Okay, by stopping the uses of excessive pesticides and fertilizer, we help our land to be fertile. Okay, the quality of our land will improve if we educate our farmers to use pesticide in a right way. Okay, so these are the things of our today's topic. First, we discuss about what we consider as land as resources, and land as resources, and the land use. That means the activity which actually come under the land use. And the last part of our topic is the conservation of our land resources. That means what are the steps or what are the techniques that we should conclude in our lifestyle to help our land or help our soil to be what are the steps or activity we should include in our daily to day life to help our land to increase its quality and its texture. Okay, so this is it for today's video. I hope this video is helpful for you and help you to understand the chapter in a better way. I